Okay, so do they have hospitality here?
Yes, we have hospitality.
That would be like
here.
working in a hotel, that type of thing?
They can go out and do internships within the industry or work placements within industry. So depending on what level they are studying, they may start out on a certificate program at maybe level 3 or level 4, and then they can transition or staircase onto a higher level with at Welltech or another institution.
So as part of the study, working in a business, do they get credit for that, or is that something different?
Yes, it counts towards the gathering of their evidence and their practicing their skill sets as well. So they might be placed in a hotel or...
Okay, so if you're in the plumbing program, is part of the plumbing program working as an apprentice somewhere?
No, it's pre-apprenticeship training. So having said that though, the students for those programs do go on work placements, and so they're expected to go out and secure a work placement for a period of time. So it might be one day a week for X number of weeks, or it may be that they do that in their holiday breaks. So we work very closely with industry, both institutions do.
The plumbing program, do they, or electrician program, do they, how long is that program typically? How many years?
Typically the trades programs are a year, with some programs having a second year. So, and then they transition into a work scenario. So it would be as an apprentice, and then they would continue on with their studies whilst they are in employment.
Oh, they would?
Yes.
And so are they getting paid for these guys?
Once they gain an apprenticeship, yes, they're being paid. And they then often have to come back in, and it could be a block course, could be so many weeks, or it could be so many nights a week that they come in and get support with getting some of the credits towards that final trades qualification.
Okay, so I don't want to mention the principal, but I talked to a couple principals, and I said, what about the Polytechnic? You know, I mean, is this, because if only 25-30% of your kids are going to go to the university, that leaves a huge chunk of other people that need to do something. And what about the Polytechnic? And he said, no, they don't really, kids don't go to that. Well, it's not really well advertised. It's not well known, or they didn't have a lot of reasons, but. So what's going on there? Do a lot of kids come here?
Yes, we run very successful programs where students are exposed to the Polytech system, but typically what you find in a lot of secondary schools is by virtue of teachers being teachers, they've been successful, they've been exposed to the typical traditional education
they want kids to go
of
that
university,
route. Oh, that's too bad.
and they've gone through that, and so a lot of those teachers that are influencers for those students have not been exposed to what a tertiary institution such as Whitireia or Welltech or any of the other polytechs provide, because they're using their own experiences to determine. We sort of counteract that by offering a range of what we call STAR programs. So it's using a resource that the Ministry of Education provides, secondary tertiary alignment resource. It's a funding model, and the secondary schools get given that, and we pull together short programs for senior students, so typically year 11, 12 or 13, so the last 3 years of college, where they can potentially come on site to these institutions and experience, and it might be one day a week for 8 weeks, and experience a plumbing course or an electrical course or a cookery course or hair or beauty or
intro to plumbing to see if there's
and so they're gaining credits which count towards their NCEA, so at level 1, 2.
Oh, they're getting credits over there.
Yes, they're getting credits but they relate to the specific program of interest, and it helps get them across the line at school as well.
But they could leave at 16 and come over here, right?
Yes, they could.
Does that happen much?
Probably.
Kids leave at 16 much?
No, less and less these days. You get the odd one. The schools are trying to retain the students there.
Why, they want the numbers, the money?
Yeah, it's partly that, partly family expectations as well. So the families are wanting to ensure, particularly with some of our Pacific and Maori families, they have an expectation that they want the best for their kids, and they want the best for their children, right, or their family members, and they want them to aspire to a higher level of learning, and they see that they really would like those students, their young people, to stay and graduate. They see them graduating from year 13 or 7th form at secondary school, and if they were to leave as soon as they were able to leave school, even if it was to come onto a valid, quite a good vocational pathways, they wouldn't necessarily, they're still trying to get their heads around that. Sometimes these families, English is their second language, and they may have come from the islands and with limited opportunities there, and so they have made this move to try and get the aspiration higher.
Okay, so Mana.
Yep.
I went there.
Yep.
It's kind of a Decil 2 school, so it's kind of, on the low end, right?
Yep.
Looked like a lot of the Māori, a lot of the Pacific Islander, mostly Māori, I think, right?
Yes.
Something like that, I'm not sure.
Yes, that's right.
But, a lot of those kids don't go to the university.
No, they don't.
So then, do they end up here, or what do they do?
Yeah, quite a few do. Some of them, because of the socio-economic area we're in, and because of some of the family expectations, a lot of those students, there is a need for them to help support their families. So some of their family members have got 1 or 2 jobs, it might be cleaners, whatever, right, and so they are having to, if they're not going straight on to university, then there's an expectation that they'll contribute to the family budget.
Okay.
And so if the students don't have a clear direction, then they are generally going into relatively low
pay, low standard type of stuff.
Yeah,
okay,
jobs.
So then on to the next question. So how is the process that you go over and work with that school? How do you get the word out? Do you make I'm trying to figure, is there different meetings? Is there a fair with the kids?
Kids down so we go to, with all these schools, so with all the contributing schools around the Wellington area, a lot of them have careers exposed, they have pathways evenings, they have subject choice evenings.
Are you part of that?
Yes,
stuff?
So we're part of all those sorts of...
You show up there, parents show up, or...
Yes, parents show up. I mean, one of my team members was there earlier in the week, and we were the only provider there, and with the exception of the New Zealand Police, because Mana are doing something with New Zealand Police, and putting police studies as a prerequisite on the timetable. They're putting it as a line on the timetable as a way of introducing students to another opportunity.
Is it hard to get kids from that school to come over here?
Yes, not... Well, yes, some of them. Some come. They've got to be in the right headspace. They've got to have the right support to actually come here. And some of the schools in the area, and that's probably one. It's to their advantage to actually work very closely with the universities, because that's sort of like they're trying to attract students in, so their outcomes have to be quite good. It's sort of one of those schools where, you know,